It's blasttheradio.com, home of the Lowell Green Show, where normally we have a professionally produced intro for you, but today, for some reason, it's not working. If that's the worst of our problems, this is going to be a great show. Now, please welcome the one, the only, Lowell Green.
That's the story of my life, actually, the intro.
Mine too.
Oh, man. That's like trying to get registered for a vaccination.
So I hear.
Yeah. No luck whatsoever.
None, eh?
I must tell you that I want to start with some great news, because some of the things that I'm about to tell you are really going to sound like whining. I am, as a senior citizen, I am really, really, really feeling sorry for myself. And I better warn you about that. But before I get into that, maybe you better start feeling a little bit sorry for yourself if you like to heat your home or drive your car or take the odd airplane flight. Because I managed to get through within the past hour to the office of the Michigan governor. That's the state of Michigan governor, Gretchen Whitmer. Now, I wasn't able to speak with her. She's not going to speak with lowly reporters from Ottawa, that's for sure. But I did speak with her executive assistant, chief of staff or whatever. And so I identified myself. She was very friendly. And I said, now, is there any change in the governor's plans to shut down Line 5? Oh, no, she said, that's firm. On May 11th, if changes aren't made, we are shutting down. And there's no change. No, Mr. Green, no change. It's going to be shut down on May the 11th of this year, I said. Yes, this year. So once again, I asked for the governor. I said, any chance I could speak with the governor, because this would devastate the economy of the province of Ontario and Quebec. She said, no, I'm sorry, the governor was, whatever it was, the governor was at a meeting. They're always in meetings. So then I said, to your knowledge, now I said, I understand that you're not the governor and you may not have all of the information, but to your knowledge, has there been any representation from the Canadian federal government in this regard? And she kind of hesitated. She said, well, there has been, she stopped for a moment. She said, there has been, I think, a couple of correspondence here. I'm not sure if they were texts or emails, but as far as anything else, I'm not aware of anything from the federal government. So I said, Governor Whitmer plans to shut down Line 5, devastating the economy of this province. And you have no direct contact, or there's been no direct contact from the federal government? Well, she said, not that I'm aware of. So I just thought I'd pass that on, folks. Hopefully by May the 11th, the weather will have warmed, so if you don't have any heat in your home, it won't really matter. By that time, the price of gasoline will be probably so far out of line that you won't be able to put any in your gas tank anyway, so what the hell? As far as propane goes, because it would also shut off propane, or a good part of it, well, as I say, hopefully by May the 11th, you won't need propane for anything. I know a lot of people, in rural areas are even cooking with propane. But, I mean, you just get yourself a barbecue. You can, cook with the barbecue. Don't take the barbecue inside, mind you. So I wouldn't worry too much. And as far as taking airplanes, well, not many people are flying these days because, as you know, when they shut down Line 5, there is no jet fuel left for the planes at Pearson. So you can forget flying. Anyway, I just thought I'd pass it on. Happy news for this Monday morning.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, no problem. Well, I mean, if Trudeau, the great savior, the great hero of the majority of Canadians, isn't concerned about this, why the hell should you or I, John? I mean, what the hell? Well, what's dropping off 45% of gas, oil, propane, 100% of jet fuel? I mean, what does that matter? It doesn't matter.
So what the hell will his carbon tax apply to then if we don't have any oil in this country?
Well, that's a very good question.
Thanks. I thought so too.
Oh, yeah, that's very true. What's that going to be? Well, you can be sure he'll tack it on to something else, that's for sure.
Great.
Now, as I said at the outset, that I'm feeling really sorry for myself here. And some of you are going to accuse me of whining. So be it. I'm going to whine, okay? Because I have to tell you. I'm going to tell you. Now, anytime you mention race or anything, you're always in deep trouble. There are all kinds of snapping turtles out there. They look like humans sometimes, but they're really snapping turtles. And they're just ready to snap something off if you just happen to in any way infer anything about racism. So I know I'm going to get snapped at with lots of turtles out there, okay? But I have to say this because you know why? Because it's true. It's this. If racial minorities were treated as badly in this country as our senior citizens, folks, there would be a widespread revolution. I mean, let's be very honest here, okay? We tend to pussyfoot around some of this stuff. Thousands, and I mean thousands, many thousands of seniors died while essentially imprisoned in long-term care. You know, the pictures of faces, old faces pressed against windows and their relatives and friends from outside still haunt me. They should haunt you. Thousands of people died needlessly in old age homes. Not only did they die, but many of them we now know were treated terribly. Terribly. We wouldn't treat a dog the way we treated many senior citizens in long-term care. Stories about having to lie for days in their own feces, no water, no food. These stories were commonplace. And through it all, not that many people seemed all that concerned. Oh, there were a few squeaks and peeps about, not treating them right and so forth. But I've got to tell you, I have to be very honest here. I was one of the first on this program and on Facebook to raise hell about the way seniors are being treated in long-term care. It started, as I recall, with a long-term care. I forget the name of the home. I believe it was in Montreal, and there was about like a dozen or 20 people died within a day or two. And I raised bloody hell. Can I tell you something? I received almost as many complaints via Facebook and on this program, complaints about me raising this issue, as I got heard from people who were appalled at what was happening. And the media, they covered it a bit, but not very much. And the fact is that a year later, more than a year later, conditions in many long-term care residences have not changed all that much. Now, I mean, the Ford government is doing, I guess, what it thinks is its best, but it doesn't have any money. Federal government will not provide one single cent, additional cent for long-term care. But anyway, all I'm saying is that seniors were treated terribly, and there wasn't a great hullabaloo in this country, right? And in many cases, the conditions have not improved all that much. I cannot think of what the reaction would be if instead of old people, and many of the many of the comments that we got, and I mean, let's be honest, many of the comments we got were about, well, we shouldn't really worry. I mean, they're old people, they have other problems anyway, as if it doesn't really matter. They're just a bunch of old bastards, forget about it. They're going to die anyway, so why worry? I'm sorry, but that paraphrases a lot of the reaction, including maybe from some of you. Not all, that's for sure, but certainly some. But I'm going to tell you, had that been a racial minority treated as the senior citizens were treated, can you imagine? Can you just imagine? It would be blazoned, full page in every newspaper, radio station, television would be, and racism rife, and that's what would happen. But it was old folks, so what the hell? And then, and I told you, I'm feeling sorry for myself because I'm an old folks. But if that doesn't really bother you, or you sort of gone over you, how about the situation last Friday at the Nepean Sportsplex? Did you see what happened there? This was the vaccination at the Nepean Sportsplex on Friday was for people 90 plus. 90 plus. People were there 90, 94, 95. Apparently, there was a couple of people 99, and apparently one person was 100. Some of them in walkers, some of them in wheelchairs, standing outside in the freaking cold, while the people who gave the shots were inside nice and warm. Can you imagine making 90-year-old, 95-year-old people stand outside in the freaking cold in the middle of a Canadian winter? Well, we did. Why? Well, because they're old. Not one person Not one person, and there must be some good people. I mean, but you would think that with all that, I mean, if you would think that somewhere, someplace, would be at least one person who would look at this long lineup of 90 and 95-year-olds lined up, standing in the cold. You'd think some person would come and say, hey, wait a minute, hold it. Go out and hand numbers to these people or something and take them inside. I have news for you. I've been inside Nepean Sportsplex many times. It's filled with warm hallways, and it's also got at least 2 arenas with seats. So why the hell didn't somebody, one person, come out and come to the line and say, wait a minute, we can't have you people standing out in the cold. Come inside. Sit down. We'll give you a number. We'll come to you, or whatever it is. Not one person did that. Let me ask you this. If this had been a group of racial minorities lined up like that, sorry, folks. Now, let's talk about racial minorities. While this is going on at the Nepean Sportsplex on Friday, 90, 95, 100-year-olds lined up in the cold outside, made to stand and wait. If you are Native, Aboriginal, Métis, or Inuit, and aged 50 plus, you were invited to get vaccinated. No lineups. This is in the city of Ottawa. I don't mind Natives in remote communities living under harsh conditions getting advanced vaccine. I don't mind. But many of these people, perfectly healthy 50-year-old people, dragged out of the squash courts perhaps to go and get vaccinated because they're Native. Vaccines based not on need, it would seem to me. Now, I'm just one guy. I know I'm old. I know I'm gray or white or whatever it is. But I still have a few of my faculties. And I still have a freaking conscience. I firmly believe that a 95-year-old person who has difficulty standing and walking should take preference over a 50-year-old person because of their race. Heresy? I'm a heretic. But that's a fact, folks. 50 years, and you know what? And it is so insignificant in this community, the fact that 95-year-olds, 90 are lining up, while 50-year-old Natives are getting their vaccinations in the warmth, that as far as I know, it isn't even mentioned in the media. I don't see a word or a peep about it in either the Sun or the Citizen today. I don't know if any of the television networks handled it or not. So you wonder why, as a senior, that I don't feel just a little pissed off? And you know what? You should too, because these are your grandparents, they're your parents, and in years to come, with any kind of luck, they'll be you. Because if we care so little about seniors that we make them stand outside in the cold like that, they'll do the same to you when you're a senior. Yes, John.
Right
Go
on.
ahead, please.
My parents are the first people I thought of when you said that the seniors are standing outside. I mean, you know, they're of around your age group. It pisses me off to no end, and I can't believe that the phone is not ringing off the hook on this. We invite your calls. 613-413-2217.
Nobody cares. You know what? We're old, so nobody gives a sweet flying fox for it. Too bad.
Well, change my mind. There's the phone call, 613-413-2217. Mike says, what's the problem with putting vaccines in coolers with dry ice and going to their homes? Are they not worth the extra chips it would take? It makes me mad, Lowell. Erlene says there was abuse back in the 70s in the home, so it didn't start with COVID. Vicky says, I work in long-term care. Thank you for being the squeaky wheel. Wages are low and don't attract workers. Perpetually short-staffed. Elderly are not redundant. We've got a call coming in. Let's just take this blind, Lowell. Hello, you're on with Lowell Green. Go ahead.
Hi.
Go ahead, please. You're on the air.
Oh, hi, Lowell. No, I completely agree with you. Elderly people are treated horribly with this virus and all this. And
were you aware of what happened on Friday at the Nepean Sportsplex?
No, I did not listen, but I try not to watch much of the news. But I know there's a lot of problems. But I think that was awful in the cold, and you're letting 90-year-olds standing outside. But exactly like you said, had they been
let me ask you this: while 90-year-olds are forced to stand outside in the cold, 50-year-olds who happen to be Native They are getting preferential treatment. They don't stand out in the cold. They got their vaccines at a number of clinics with no lineups. What do you think of that?
Exactly. No, I think it's awful. Look at you. You're ill with your heart. My mom is a 3 times cancer survivor. She can't get her her vaccine as it is now. I'm immunocompromised also. I can't get it. But 50-year-old Aboriginal people, not that I have anything against the Aboriginal people or Indigenous
It's not their fault.
people.
I mean, why? I mean, this is somebody, some politically correct son of a bitch, has
Yes.
decided that they should take preference over you and me and 90-year-olds. So
Mhm.
I don't blame the Aboriginals at all.
Oh, absolutely. I don't either.
This was a decision obviously made by well, in all probability, by some non-native. Somebody thought that, oh well, you know what? I'm going to be a really nice guy here. Thank you
Yeah.
for the call. I appreciate it. I'm good to hear. But once again, here we go. Same callers. Like nobody seems to really care in this country anymore, or hardly anybody. I'll tell you who cares. Shields. I've said this before. We're talking here about appliances, of course, but not only are we talking about appliances, we're talking about doing business, helping people, doing what is right. Shields, over the years since 1946, has established a very great reputation up and down the valley. They're gradually making inroads now in the city, primarily because of this program. They have all of the major brands in stock. Prices are very competitive, and as I've told you before, the government rebate program ends at the end of this month. And in addition to that, Trudeau's carbon tax takes effect on April the 1st. So you know what? Prices go up as of April 1st. So if you're looking for appliances of any kind, at the very least, give Shields a call. They're local, they're family, they're good, they're honest, and they'll deliver to you probably within the next 2 or 3 days. Shields.ca. Yes, John, more emails.
Joshua says, liberal logic. Old people don't matter. Disgraceful. Darlene says, discrimination against old people seems they want to get rid of seniors. Gordon says, good comments on seniors, Lowell. Very true and sad that these people who worked so hard to protect and build this country are treated this way. Kim says, my dad is booked March 17th and has requested that the Legion be there to offer green beer during the 15-minute post-vaccine waiting period.
Good for him.
Yes, I'm on. Can I get in that lineup?
One of the things, John, while we're at this,
Yeah.
One of the things that's driving me wacko, and I'm sorry to be so upset here, but when I see seniors or anybody, I don't care who it is, being treated so poorly like this, I mean, it just really upsets me. Just the way I am. All right. But what I don't understand is all around me, people are booking vaccinations, and I can't. We tried. My wife was on the website for well over an hour this morning. There's some sort of hiccup. I can't be too angry. I listened to Doug Ford. Apparently, it's working for a lot of people, but there's a hiccup with the new website, etc. We go to phone. We phone is busy. It's busy. Finally, we get somebody and they says, leave a message. I have no idea if we'll ever get called back. So what I don't understand, John, is people all around me are getting including 2 of my best friends. They got vaccinated apparently in Almont. And I can't even get through. So I don't know what the hell's going on. Yes, John, you have some more emails.
The way you describe it kind of reminds me of, when like a big, like Garth Brooks comes to town and people are trying to get tickets through, Ticketmaster, and the website hangs up on them and they can't get through on the phones. It's no laughing matter. 613-413-2217. If you're angry about this, and you should be, and Lowell, you know what? I got to confess, I don't think I saw anything in the newspapers or on TV about seniors standing in line outside the Sportsplex.
There was a picture, I forget, probably in the Sun on Friday. That's how I picked up on it. And then I followed up on it. And to my knowledge, I'm the only reporter. I don't know if Rob covered this or I'm having trouble understanding why the media, for the most part, seems to be so soft on all of this. This doesn't seem to me that they're nearly as tough on Trudeau as they should be. I mean, none of these problems would exist were it not for the fact that we don't have vaccines. Even today, I'm just an hour ago, I'm watching Doug Ford, listening to him. He's got a press conference, taking calls. I'll be back on the phone in a minute. And he is saying, look, we have the ability, I forget, he said, to put in 2.4 million a week. But he said, no, all we have, or he said about 1 million or something to give out. So the problem is we don't have enough vaccines, not nearly enough. And that's Trudeau's fault. Trudeau is responsible for buying vaccines into the country, shipping them to the provinces. The provinces are responsible then for shipping the vaccines off to the communities, Ottawa, etc., responsible for getting them into arms. That's the way it works. But if Trudeau doesn't do his job, if they don't have the vaccines, you cannot shoot into your arm what you do not have. Yes, you have another phone call, John.
Yes, we do. Gary from Prescott, you're on with Lowell Green.
Yes, good morning.
I'm a little bit off topic here. You hear me?
Yeah, I hope you're not going off topic. I mean, is this topic so insignificant that you're... Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying today, I just can't believe the price increase when I went to the local service center to put air in my tire. 50 cents a year went up in price, and I asked the attendant about it. It was because of carbon tax. Have you ever heard of carbon tax on air for putting?
So wait a minute, hold it. I'm here complaining about 90-year-olds lined up, and you're complaining about a 50-cent charge for air.
Well, no, it's $2 now, Lowell. It's $1.50. Why should that person pay $2? Are we going to be taxed on the air we breathe down the future? In the future, do you think we will?
Okay, well, now I know where your mind is, sir, so thank you for the call. Holy suffer and doodle cat. Folks, you know what? If ever you needed proof of what I'm saying is that people don't give a flying foxfart about old folks, there's evidence of it. This guy, great guy, beautiful guy, wonderful guy, but he's more concerned about $1.50 to fill his bloody sacre.
Can I suggest they've got a Canadian?
Why do I do this?
They've got a Canadian Tire in Prescott, I'm sure. I think I got a tire pump for $14 one year. So just a suggestion for our friend.
He doesn't care about vaccines, about old people. He doesn't care about anything except a freaking $1.50 for air. Okay, all right. Oh,
we've got another call, Lowell. You want to go to the call?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Not sure who's on the line, but go ahead. You're live with Lowell Green. Go ahead, please.
Yes.
Hi, it's Debbie,
Yes.
not your wife.
Yes, okay, Debbie. Yes.
Lowell, I booked my mother an appointment. She's in the Bayshore area in a condo. And
Right.
I booked her an appointment down at the Ron Colba Center for the earliest date was March the 18th.
How did
so
you
that's
do
coming
that?
up this Thursday. I called,
How did you do that?
I called the Ottawa Public Health.
Right.
I looked it up on Google, and then I finally went through a bunch of stuff on Google, and I found it, the number, and it said you could call starting at 7:30 on. And
How old is your mother?
started
Excuse me.
calling.
How old is your
87.
mother?
87.
Pardon? 87.
87.
So you
Yeah.
got through this morning.
No, I did it last Friday.
Oh, I
Thursday.
see. Well,
Yep.
good for you. You know what? You persevered and you did it. Now, the other thing that is very upsetting as far as I'm concerned is all of these shots that they're now administering, we're not going to get the second shot for 4 freaking months. We're being
That
used
drives
as guinea
me
pigs.
crazy.
And the only reason because of the delay is because we are short. We don't have enough vaccines. So rather than do the second shot in 21, 28 days, we're extending it 4 months. And we really don't know how that's going to work. Beautiful. But good for you.
We don't-
Good for you.
We
Yep.
don't have a clue. And you know, Lowell, if she wasn't 87, and and she didn't want to, even if she was, because of that not being able to get the the booster in the required amount of time by the manufacturer,
Right.
she probably wouldn't do it. But she knows that she's an experiment. Her sister was an experiment in Thunder Bay in a long-term care. Her other sister, the same thing. So my mom's at home, and we're going to go and do it. Now, me,
Good.
I don't know if I'm going to do it, Lowell, when I can't get it in the correct amount of time. I have to decide. But I guess I won't need to worry about that for a while. 'Cause
Thank you for
you're
the
not
call.
gonna
Thank you.
find it
Thank you for
me.
your
Bye.
perseverance. Thank
Bye,
you.
Lowell.
I have to get a word in here. I'll be right for Centennial Glass because, as I keep telling you, the carbon tax goes into effect April the 1st. I don't know what, if any, government rebate programs still apply when it comes to glass, home renovations, etc. They will know at Centennial Glass. If you have a project even coming up in the spring, and you're not sure if there's some government assistance of any kind, Or if you just maybe want to book in early, so maybe save some price increases, give Centennial Glass a call right now. They've got the experts there. They've got the advice. They're very, very friendly. Be only too glad to, as I think someone else says, there are no bad questions, not when it comes to Centennial. You want information? You'd like to get a quote that you can trust? Centennial Glass. Great business, folks. Local. Once again, this is something we should do. If we can, support local business. Centennial. Yes, John, more emails.
Got a text to 613-413-2217. It says, can you imagine if the indigenous people had to stand outside in line and the seniors were treated in a warm place to wait for their vaccines? The media would be all over that.
It's good. Yeah.
From Barry Lowell, what happened to all the people who complained when Ontario Healthcare told people in government nursing homes that they would only be allowed one shower per week? Kim says, Lowell, total incompetence. Hang in there, my friend. Peter says, Lindsay, Ontario had a huge outbreak of COVID at the start, resulting in a number of deaths. 2 deaths at a long-term care in Pembroke in the last almost week. Joseph says, Lowell, we are also seniors about the same age as you. It looks like the Orleans area are not on the list to receive the vaccine yet due to the fact that this area is a low-risk area. That's not... Again, you and I debated this last week, Lowell. The text from the mayor on Facebook seems to indicate that anybody over 80 now can call the line and register. Is that how you're seeing it now?
Well, we're getting once again mixed messages. The mayor says anybody over 80, but my understanding is that all this week it's going to be people 90 and over. I hope they're not going to make them stand outside in cold weather like this. I hope they learned their lesson. But I'm unclear. I mean, both my wife and I, we're very aware of what's going on. We follow the news, et cetera, and I'm still unclear whether I am eligible to, whether I can apply now, whether I have to wait another week or 2 weeks. So I'm going to tell you, if I'm confused, there's got to be a hell of a lot of other people out there confused. I don't understand this. I mean, there's got to be somebody that is better at communicating, telling us what to do, how to do it, and if there's a problem, here's how you surmount it. None of that appears to be happening. That's my only comment on that one.
So the information we're getting from the City of Ottawa's health department right now says anyone born 1941 and earlier can call the number and can book online.
Well, we phoned that line. My wife phoned that line this morning. It was busy when I tried it several times. She finally got through, but not to a live person. You got a voice. What do you want to do? And you push, and she pushed number 3, whatever it was, said, leave a message. So she left a message. Hopefully someone will get back to her. But I mean, it's I understand that everybody wants that there's tens of thousands of people that want vaccines, etc. I understand that. I understand the crush. I also understand you got to give them 2 or 3 days. But this is not the first time there's been screw-ups like this. I don't understand why after all of this time they can't get their freaking act together.
Yeah.
At the very least, don't make 90-year-old people stand in the cold. Jumping. Jeez. And every time I go back to that, it drives me batty. Drives me batty. You know what else drives me batty? I have to change the topic here. All around me here, John, I don't know if you've been out driving the countryside, but all around me here are fields, beautiful fields, vacant fields, filled with ice. Beautiful skating rinks, no snow on top. And I see this ice everywhere. All of these fields, I mean, obviously it flooded and then it froze. Beautiful. One thing I don't see are any kids skating on this. Now, I know I'm the old guy here, but, you know, there was a time when you had a pond like that or whatever, ice. I mean, the kids would flock to it. Pick up hockey, pick up this, that, and the other thing. Same thing happens in the summertime. We drive by and mostly empty soccer fields, baseball diamonds. Once in a while, there'll be something organized, but very seldom do you ever see a group of kids getting together, making up their own rules and pick up hockey or baseball or soccer. I guess the phone, their phone or whatever it is they stare at is taken over. I understand time moves on, but time marches on, but I don't think it's always for the best. It would be so nice just to see a kid or two out skating on those. What a joy it would be to get out in the field and skate. It's like maybe a mile. In Holland, as you know, thousands of people go out and they skate the canals everywhere. Here in Canada, you would think that if there'd be a place to skate, that would be it. Anyway, that's it. As I told you, John, I was really feeling sorry for myself. Thank you for allowing me to unburden. But I'm going to tell you, the next time I see anybody forcing 90 and 95-year-old people to stand outside in the cold, I'm going to go in, I'm going to blow the goddamn place up. Thank you all. We'll be back.
And here comes your professional extra since nothing's working. Thanks for listening to The Lowell Green Show on blasttheradio.com. Available as a podcast as well. You can download that by checking blasttheradio.com/Lowell Green. Lowell Green Show back tomorrow and every weekday at 2 p.m. on blasttheradio.com.
Here's to all the late night drunk phone calls that you picked up. Here's to all the bad decisions that you didn't judge. All the love yous and the hate yous and secrets that you told me. Here's to everyone but mostly us. There's a couple